Here we go. Aren't you tired of trying so many scaling and testing techniques and none of them work? You see, many people are stuck at the testing phase and they don't get out of it simply because they don't know how to read the data and they don't know how to optimize their campaigns to get profitable results from them. Let me show you how I optimize the campaigns for my clients that generated us a return on spend of 3x plus. First of all, you have to know your numbers. I'm talking here about your KPIs, your key performance indicators. This is basically your minimum benchmark. You have to know your break-even return on spend, the cost to acquire one customer, and all these measurements, you have to know them very, very accurately. Because if you don't know them, what it happens, you can turn off the campaigns that can generate you very good results, and on the other hand, you can scale the campaigns that don't have any potential and will not generate you any sales. Now I'm gonna assume that you know your numbers. So where should you start to optimize your campaigns? So an important thing is to first optimize your ad level. I'm talking about your creatives, the visual parts. So the reason you wanna do that is because I see many people are making this mistake. They optimize at the ad set level. So they look at their targeting, and if they see that their return on spend doesn't look so good, they turn that audience off. And here's the problem. If you turn that off, you might have some creatives that actually have a profitable return on spend. That's why, first of all, you need to look which creatives generated you a profitable return. So for example, if you have 3 creatives that you are running right now, look at each one and see what is their return. And usually what it can happen is you can have, let's say, one creative that generated you a good return on spend, but didn't spend enough. And on the other hand, you have other 2 creatives that you have on them most of the spending, but they don't have a very good return on spend. So in that case, you turn them off and you keep the ad with the highest return on spend running. When it comes to optimizing your ad creatives, you cut the ones that have a return on spend less than your break-even, and you keep running the ones that have your break-even or higher than that. Now, in order to scale your ad account to 4 or 5 figures a day, you have to have multiple proven ad creatives. It does not happen to scale a business with one single creative. You have to have multiple ones that are proven and can generate you a profitable return on spend. So what you have to do in that case is to look at the creative that got you good results and see particularly why that ad converted. And afterwards, you're gonna see some patterns, because when you have 1 or 2 creatives that got you some sales, you're gonna observe some similarities. And that is exactly what you have to look for. From there, it's very simple. You go and create new ads that will have some similarities to the ones that converted. Let me give you a perfect example. Let's say that you have an image with one of your bestsellers in the black color. From there, you take another similar picture and you use, in this case, maybe in the white color. You see, this new creative will have proven elements that will help us to scale your ad account, but at the same time, it will look fresh and new to your potential customer. Because the problem is, when you're running just one single creative, they will get fatigued. So basically, people will get bored of your ads. Even though you might target a very broad audience, Facebook is very smart and they know that, let's say, on average, this type of person is converting after 2 or 3 touch points. So they will make sure they will show your ads to that person at least 2 or 3 times. And sometimes they will not convert, but Facebook is gonna keep showing your ads to those people. So you have to make sure that you're showing them new creatives, something that they will be more likely to engage with. Also, another example could be, let's say that you're running an ad with a text overlay. You might take the same image and change slightly the wordings on that image or video. The formula is pretty simple. You take the creatives that have worked for you, and then you adjust slightly so it looks fresh in front of your potential customers. Now, before I'm talking about the audience optimization, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the scaling part. And I'm gonna be very upfront with you. Scaling is really very simple. You increase the budget by 20% at the ads that have a return on spend higher than your break-even, and you decrease by 20% if it's less than your break-even, or you cut it if you didn't get any sales. Now, there are some situations and exceptions when you can increase it by more than 20%, and I have actually a video all about when and how to scale your Facebook ads, so I highly recommend you to check that out after watching this one. If we talk about the ad set optimization, where you have your targeting, your placements, also your ad budget if you're using the ad set budget optimization. We have many similarities when it comes to optimization as we have on the ad level. When I see that the return is your break-even or a little bit less, but at the same time it's close to your break-even, then I consolidate those audiences in the budget as well. And the reason we want to do that is because Facebook will have more data to find your ideal customer, and it's gonna have more budget to learn faster who is your ideal customer. Because you have to understand, when you launch an ad, Facebook is basically a machine learning. They will go and they will show your ads to multiple types of audiences to figure out which one is engaging more with your ad creatives. First days, they will show your ads to very different types of customers, and they will read the data of how they are interacting with your creatives. When they see that some people skip your ads right away, they will show less your ads to those people. And that's why in the first week, you might see those fluctuations. The problem is that many people, they turn off the ads too quickly, where they see some sales in the first days and then for 1 or 2 days they don't get any sales and they turn them off because they think the campaigns will stop performing. And actually that's not the case at all. So like I said, when we stack the audiences and the budget, we give way much more data for Facebook and they can learn faster, which means you can skip that part where you have very huge fluctuations. Now, if you're wondering about what will be a realistic budget, then let me know in the comments below, and if I see that you really need help on that, then I will make sure I record a video on that in the future. As you can see, I just talked mostly about your return on spend and your cost per purchase, and that's because these metrics are most important when it comes to optimizing your ads. We don't really look at your cost per click or click-through rate or your cost per 1,000 impressions, even though they are quite important. But sometimes what it can happen is you can have a higher cost per 1,000 impression, but at the same time your return on spend looks very great. So in that case, Facebook simply is going after an audience who is very competitive, but they are more willing to buy right now. So if you see that, that's okay. I know that optimization might be a tricky phase, especially after the iOS 14 update. And if you feel that you need help, go ahead and book a call with me by clicking on the link in the description below, and I promise you this isn't gonna be that common sales call. We will go through your ad account to see how I can increase your return on spend. So go ahead and schedule your call now.